Hey guys, it's Tuesday. Hope everything went good for you on Monday. Didn't get too many emails, not too many complaints, so I'm guessing most of y'all are handling this pretty easy. It's not too difficult. So what we're going to do today is we got a little bit more to add to our notes. Going to try to get through it quickly. I know I've said that for like the last 2 or 3 videos I've made, but I mean it this time. We're going to try to get done quickly. So go ahead and pull up your digital notebook. See, I've already got mine pulled up here. We're going to scroll down to where we took our notes yesterday. Notice they're right here, reasons for exploration. We're going to click on that. Hopefully it's going to pull up. There we go. So yesterday, you should have filled in all of these answers under the 3 reasons for Europeans exploring. And you should have also filled in this part right here about Spain. So what we're going to do today is we're going to knock out New Spain, other European countries, and then real quickly hit up the 13 colonies. And there's one other little thing that we need to do. We're going to need to add a slide, okay? So I'm going to go over here, and in between slide 4 and 5, I'm going to click, and notice it puts this little orange line here. Then I'm going to go up to the new slide, click on that, and I'm going to add a page of ruled paper. Now, over here on this ruled piece of paper that we just created, we're going to continue reasons for, and I'm going to abbreviate a little bit just for the sake of time, reasons for European exploration. Let's go ahead and click in here and number this as slide number 5. And I don't like that it's that close, so I'm going to slide it over here a little bit. All right. And then right here where it says click to add text, we're going to write in the word summary. Okay. And I'm going to have something for you to come in and fill in under this summary section. So like I said, we're going to go right here. We're going to do New Spain, 3 questions. Other European countries, just 1. 13 colonies. We're going to fill this in right here. And then you're going to have something that I want you to type in over here on this next page next to the word summary. All right, got that? All right, let's go. So let's go over to our notes. And, let me just catch up here. For some reason, it took us way back. All right, here we go. So this is where we're at now. The Spanish have came over here, and they have established control over the New World. The Portuguese actually beat them here. Well, they didn't necessarily beat them here. They beat them to South America. We'll just say that for the most part. So Spain and Portugal basically get into this contest about who is going to get to control the New World. Columbus says, well, I'm the first one that found it. The Portuguese said, yeah, but you were up in the islands and we were down here in South America, so we should have this. So basically what they did, and we may talk about this a little later at some time, they went to the Pope. And you may ask, why would you go to the Pope for a decision on land? The Pope is over religion. Well, back in those days, the Catholic Church was very, very strong. Even the kings and the queens wanted the Pope to be cool with them, okay? So when it came down to it, they said, let's go to the Pope and let him make the decision. And what the Pope wound up doing is he drew a line, and he said Spain gets everything on this side of the line, Portugal gets everything on that side of the line. Well, unfortunately, the Pope didn't know what exactly all was out there. And where he drew the line gave Portugal this little bitty piece of land, and it gave Spain the rest of the entire New World, basically. So Portugal is down there in Brazil. That's why if you ever go to Brazil, or if you know someone who is Brazilian, you'll notice that their Spanish doesn't sound like other Spanish. It's because it's not. It's Portuguese. It does have some similarities, but a lot of differences as well. So we're going to talk about New Spain. You're going to see that a lot of these countries weren't very creative in renaming their new territories. They just called it New Spain, New France, New England, New Netherlands. Not very creative at all. But at least this way it makes it easy to remember because the name's actually in it. So Spain controlled, and this goes in your notes right here, as well as this down here, all right? So if you need to pause this slide right here and go back and write the answers in your notes, this would be a good time to hit pause on the video. Spain controlled much of North and South America. You see over here, this entire yellow section, that's what Spain controlled. Okay, it's a lot of land. And if you'll notice, it included territory that makes up the present-day states of Texas, Florida, and California. Now, eventually, those get busted up into some other states, so there's actually more states that fall in here, but the three big ones that were settled at this time, once again, California, Texas, Florida. Now, the Spaniards had a pretty organized way of how they did things. When they moved into an area, they sent conquistadors, the soldiers, the conquerors. They came in and claimed the land. Then they would send in friars or priests, and these priests would come in and build missions, okay? And missions are basically churches, and they tried to attract Native Americans to these churches to try to convert the Native Americans to Christianity or to Catholicism. They would give them gifts, they would give them food, they would give them all sorts of things to lure them into the church, and then they would try to get them to convert over to the Spanish religion, Christianity. And then once the conquistadors had conquered the land, the Spaniards had come in and built a mission. Then other Spaniards would come in and they would create little villages, little settlements, and a lot of times these people who were brought in would be employed to basically, they would enslave the Native Americans and force the Native Americans who were living in these areas to dig for treasure, to dig for silver and gold and so forth, so that they could send it back to Spain and increase their power and their wealth. All right? So that goes, this right here goes on the notes for New Spain. So if you need to hit pause, do that, and then go back and put those notes in. All right? Let's go on to the next slide. Real quick, we're going to hit this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it right here. I'm going to include another video on another section you can kind of watch. It's like a 3 or 4 minute video over the Columbian Exchange. It's named after Christopher Columbus, Columbus, Columbian, and all that stuff. And basically, as explorers left Europe and came to the New World, and then returned from the New World back to Europe, they took stuff from Europe over to the New World that the New World didn't have, and they brought stuff from the New World back to Europe that Europe didn't have. So there were food, there was tobacco, there were all sorts of animals and crops. Unfortunately, there were also some diseases that got sent back and forth. And this exchange of goods and ideas and diseases and all that stuff became known as the Columbian Exchange. The New World sent a lot of cool stuff over here to the Old World. Unfortunately, one of the most powerful things we sent to the New World from the Old World was diseases, which, as you see down here, wound up doing a number on the Native American population. Millions wiped out because of the diseases that were brought over. Like I said, let's skip on through that real quick. Like I said, there will be a video for you to check out here in just a few minutes. Now, when Spain came to the New World and started making all this money, finding all this gold, finding all this treasure, and becoming more and more powerful, other countries wanted to get in on that action. Okay? So, some of the other countries, and this is that next section, other countries who got involved. You may want to hit pause after this video and go back and fill in that section. The English, or England, the United Kingdom, wanted to get involved. The French, or France, wanted to get involved. And so did the Dutch. And if you don't know who the Dutch are, they are from the country known as the Netherlands. All right? A lot of people don't know that New York was originally a Dutch settlement before we basically stole it from them, the English, that is. All right? So if you want to hit pause now, go back to your notes. That fills in that section about other countries that wanted to come over here and get in on the action in the New World. England, France, and the Netherlands. All right, let's hop on through there. Real quickly, and you can see it down here. This kind of shows you where these countries set up. Down here is Spain in the red. France is this brownish, greenish area here. and the British were mostly here along the coast. The Dutch, you say, where's the Dutch at? I don't see them on here. They were a very small little section right up in here, like we said, around New York. But that was about it for those guys. All right, let's go on. Now, the 13 British colonies, this is pretty much the last thing on your notes until we get to the summary. The country of Great Britain, also known as England, established 13 colonies along the Atlantic Ocean. That's right over here, the east coast. And these colonies were established for certain reasons. Either economic, meaning there was something over here that the English thought that they could make money off of, so they set up colonies to make money. Social and religious. A lot of religious groups and social groups were being picked on and bullied and harassed in England, and they thought if they came over here to the New World and started their own little colony, that people would leave them alone and they could do their own thing and live in peace. So a lot of them came over here for social or religious reasons. And then lastly, like it says, political reasons here. Some groups came over, didn't quite get along with each other for whatever particular reasons, and so they split off and created another colony over here. So those were the 13 colonies founded by England over here along the coast. And we're going to get into these much more in depth as we go, so don't think we're just going to brush over it this quickly. We'll get into that stuff again. So once again, if you need to hit pause, go over there, fill in that section about the 13 colonies. All that information is right here. And now let's look at that new slide that I told you to add, the one called summary. So here's the summary. Basically, as teachers, we've looked at the STAR test and we kind of know the kind of questions they're going to ask you over this stuff. And right here, we wrote down 3 things. I want you to copy this almost word for word, okay, under the section called summary. And it's these things right here. Spain, in summary, Spain came to the New World for religious reasons, to convert the natives, and they used missions to do that. That's a question that they like to use on the STAR test a lot. Spain came for religious reasons, to convert the Native Americans using missions, and they came for glory, and they came for wealth. Now the French down here, they claimed land in the New World, and they were going to try to make their money off of fur trading. Okay, fur trading. They were hunting beavers and any type of fur-bearing animals with a thick furry coat. They were hunting those types of animals, and they would take them and they would kill those animals and skin them and send their hides back to England, and people in England would pay a lot of money for these exotic furs from the New World, and that's how France wanted to make a lot of their money. And then lastly, they were all trying to gain more land, because land equals money and money equals power, and that's what all of these countries were trying to do, establish themselves as major world powers. So on that slide that we created a while ago that said summary, hit pause on this screen and go back over there and type this in as close to word for word as you can. Spain, religion, converting natives into missions, glory and wealth. For France, they came to the New World to profit from fur trading. And then all of them wanted to add land, because land is money and land is power. All right? Once again, I said I was going to try to keep it short, and it still went almost 13 minutes. I apologize that it went so long, but I needed to get these notes to you. So make sure you're keeping up on your notes. Make sure you're getting everything entered into it, because remember, on Friday, I'm going to ask you to send me a file, a copy of your notes, so that I can check them out and make sure that you're keeping up, and we will take a grade on that. So make sure you're staying with it. All right? Have a good day.